All right, guys, welcome in. Thanks for popping into office hours. I'm here at CR3 American Exteriors and helping them out for the day. And I'm in their offices today. All right, so today is going to be we're announcing something very exciting, something that no other CRM platform has done up to this point. It's a very unique thing. And that is we are now offering full data backups out of ProLine to Google Drive for all of your data in ProLine, including your file data. That's something no one else has ever offered. You can already export a lot of data from ProLine. Like before this, you could already export a lot of data from ProLine and in CSV format, which you can from other platforms as well. We already honestly probably offered the most data in the CSV format of anybody else, but we wanted to take that to the next level because control of your data and ownership of your data is extraordinarily important, as a lot of people have probably experienced trying to migrate away from some of these other CRM platforms to ProLine. If you're a current ProLine user, if you're considering that move, you're probably thinking through that. And that is a painful process. It's a painful process getting your data, especially your files, your PDFs, your images, your videos, getting those out of these platforms is extraordinarily difficult. They let you do it, aka they let you download them one at a time, but no other platform allows you to export or back any of that up in bulk, except now for ProLine. We're the only platform that does it. And so I'm going to walk you through our new data backup feature and how it works and what it looks like. And so I got to get this set up. There's a couple of things I got to do before I can share my screen. Okay, here we go. So this is the demo account. Good to see if tech guys have computer issues. Yes, us tech guys also have computer issues. This one is just a lack of prep on my part. So we're in the demo account now. If you go into your ProLine account and you go to integrations, we do have this on the integrations page. It's technically an integration with Google Drive, which is why we have it here. It will eventually, we'll have other things as well. We're only launching this initially for Google Drive, but we'll have it long-term for probably OneDrive, Microsoft OneDrive. So the first part of this process, I'm not going to be able, just because it's going to take a long time to kind of go through all of these parts. I was planning on spending some prep time before this call to actually set everything up for the demo, but it's a little too late now. So the first step here is you do have to whitelist ProLine. There is a process eventually we'll probably go through, so you don't have to do this, but it's a one-time thing. You got to go into your Google admin. You got to have a Google admin account. We're not yet supporting Office 365, so you do have to have a Google admin account or Google Workspace account. And then you go into your Google admin for your Google Workspace and you whitelist ProLine as a provider. You have to get approval for certain aspects of integrating with Google. So we have approval right now for sending emails and for interacting with calendars. We're adding shortly going to have approval for getting back email information so that we can log externally like received emails into ProLine. That's like we're a couple weeks away, hopefully, from that. The one for data is something that it's just going to take a long time. And so we wanted to go ahead and launch this. So you go through, there's a whole article that goes through it that just goes through step by step how to do this. And you would whitelist inside of your Google admin ProLine as a provider so that you can set up the integration. Then once it's whitelisted, you would sign in with Google and you would connect your Google Drive through your Google account to ProLine. And that once it's connected, it'll say connected here in the status area. Now, once you have your Google Drive connected, you're going to be able to select a drive The recommendation is to create a shared drive in your Google Drive that is just for your ProLine backups. That's just going to be the kind of the cleanest approach. And then within that Google Drive, you're going to want to have three different folders. One of them is the data backup folder, and this is for just your raw data, for projects, for contacts, payments, just all the raw lists of CSV data. And that's going to go into that folder. Then you're going to select another folder for project files backups. And in this folder, ProLine's going to drop individual folders for every single project in your ProLine account. And then in every single project, it's going to back up the files that are in that project's files area. So all the photos, all the PDF documents. We also back up things that are not in the files area, but attached to other objects, such as quotes. Also, all your quotes, all your invoices, all your orders. Every file that could be possibly associated with that project in ProLine gets backed up into a folder that's inside that folder in your Google Drive. Then the same thing is, we have the same thing for contact files as well. Those don't get as heavily used, but we still have that as well. So every project that has a file will get a folder, or every contact that has files will get a folder, and then we'll back up those into individual folders for each contact. And so, and here's the thing, a lot of like, I'll probably do a full kind of demo video once I have this all set up. This is not going to make any of our competitors happy, because they've all basically concluded and say, we're going to make it super hard for people to get their data out. And we're all going to be happy with that, because that helps us. And, we won't call you out, and, we won't call you out for it. You don't call us out for it. We'll all just make it difficult for people to get their data out. And here at ProLine, we just don't think that's the right way of doing business. Our belief is it's your data. We're just the tool that you use to manage it. And so if you've decided that there's a better tool out there to manage your data, like we're willing to bet on the quality of ProLine as a service, not on how hard it is to get your data out, but how good we are at being the place for you to interact with your data. That's the reason we want you to stay with ProLine, not just because it's too much of a pain. And so we want you to be able to control your data, own that data outside of our platform as well, so that, worst case scenario, if you don't want to use ProLine anymore, the data is there. Now, some caveats here. It's just not viable for us to provide that backup and then be able to re-import it back in. So this is not like a way for you to be able to just kind of like come and go outside of ProLine. Once it's backed up, if you cancel your ProLine account, we don't host your files anymore. So those files do, over a period of time, get cleared out. And then there's no real way except to manually drop them in to get those files back in. So that one caveat there is it doesn't go both ways. It's a one-way sync out. However, if you were to ever decide ProLine's not for you, you do have all that data, all those files, and you wouldn't be forced to continue to pay for ProLine just to have access to your data. And that's the thing that we believe is just the ethical way of doing business, is letting you guys have that full control and ownership of your data. So, all right, so you set up the folders here, then you actually go down here to request backups. So there's two ways of having these backups done. One way, we do these backups overnight. They take a good amount of time to actually get the data out, especially if you're doing it for the first time. If you're doing it later on, you do it once and then you kind of periodically do them, the files specifically are what take the most time, and we don't send all the files every time. We only send any new files that have come into ProLine since the last time you backed up. And so because of that, the subsequent backups are not as long, but when you request a backup, so you just click here and you confirm it, and then you request it, and it will be pending, and then overnight we'll back up all your data or export all your data, and then the next morning you'll have it all there. And so that's the one way you can do this. This is free for all users. So for all ProLine company accounts, you can back up your data at any time, make a request within that evening, that night, overnight, so that we're not creating a burden for our users during the day. We will send all that data out to your Google Drive. We are also offering scheduled backups as well. So we're going to be offering either monthly, weekly, or daily backups. So if you want your backup to get your data, and another kind of aside here, ProLine already backs up your data like every 30 seconds. Like we have all kinds of redundant backups. So there's no risk of your data getting lost with ProLine because like we have so many redundancies on our end. This is about data ownership. But if you do feel the need to have all new files, all new data getting sent out every single day, we do offer this. But the scheduled backups, because of the load that it puts on our system, these are things that we do have to pay for, or we do have to charge for. We have not decided definitive pricing on these yet. If you want scheduled backups, so if you're watching this and you're like, yes, I just want all my data getting backed up on a regular basis, once a month or once a week or daily, please reach out to support and just tell them the frequency that you're looking for and just let us know what you would be willing to pay for it. And we will then, we're going to kind of feel this out and then we're going to put together some pricing here in the next few weeks on it. So, but just to clarify again, you can request a backup manually at any time. We do not charge for this. This is available to all ProLine users of all tiers, regardless of how much or how little money you pay us every month. You have access to your data and the ability to back it up. It's only the scheduling, the automation around doing it automatically in the background without you having to manually trigger it. That's what we do charge for if it's something that you feel you need. So that's available. All right, so that's pretty much because I don't have this all connected for this demo account. I'm gonna have to go connect it, and then I have to film a new demo video for this, going in deeper, and actually showing what the export looks like on the Google Drive side. But that's all I have to show today. But wanted to go ahead and just announce this and let everybody know that that's here. And then we'll be putting out more detailed demonstration and kind of how-to guide and stuff like that. I think we might already have a how-to guide. But if not, we're going to be putting that out soon as well. All right. So with all that being said, what questions do you guys have? It can be about the data backup system. It can be about ProLine in general. Anything that you guys want answered, I'm here to help for the next. I got another 12 minutes. We have a Q&A button at the bottom of Zoom, so that's an option. Or we also have the chat. So you can put the questions in either place, either into the chat or into the Q&A area. Sheldon says he has one. Ask, can I get access to the project update to try it out? Can you clarify that, Sheldon? Project update, are you referring to this data backup or something else? Because this is already live. What I'm showing here with the data backups is already live. It's already the Loom video. Oh, you're talking about the new UI, new UI for projects, like the new edit projects area. I'm assuming that's what you're asking about, Sheldon. In which case, yeah, that was supposed to go live last night, but we just kind of ran out of time on thoroughly testing it is really what happened. So we're gonna hopefully have it live tonight. Yeah, it's ready for essentially to go out and for people to test it. And then we'll collect feedback on it. What Sheldon is talking about is we are changing, we're reworking this area of ProLine. This project details, like just project area in general. So this is becoming more than twice as wide. So it's going to go out to about here. And then we're reworking this details tab entirely. And that details tab is going to go on this side. And this stuff will stay on this side. it's basically it's gonna be about 2.5 times as wide is what it's gonna end up being. So this area will be wider, but there'll also be a whole other area right here. All of these areas are still designed to be narrow, so we couldn't really expand them substantially. But there's a little bit more room here in some of these items. And we also did what I'm really most excited about here is that we have separated out project editing from project creation. So we have right now they're like the same thing. And so it's like the way you want to view data on a project is not when you're editing or interacting with a project is not the same as the flow you wanted to have when you're creating a new project. So what we've created is we've separated these two out. So there's a flow for creating a project where we've moved, kind of shifted everything around in this area to be as logical as possible for if you're on the phone with a customer or with a homeowner. And then when you edit a project, it's laid out in a way that makes more sense if you're just going in and working with a project. So yeah, it's not like a groundbreaking thing. Like we didn't massively change the functionality of ProLine, but it is we basically just took a lot of little pieces of feedback that we'd had around this project area and tried to build it in so that we could just level it up. So and we have one developer who's kind of focused on this, and they're just gonna keep kind of leveling it up. And then we're gonna be doing something similar with contacts soon as well. So collectively, that should really level up both those areas. I wish yeah, don't really have a way to show it right now. Not that I can pull up quickly. But that will get dropped soon and there'll be an announcement about it. So I mean it should be live tomorrow, so people will see it tomorrow. Yeah. All right. Any other questions before we split off? All right. So we'll wrap it up there. Thanks so much, guys. Yeah, I'm excited about both these things, the new project UI and then also the data backups. We're just going to keep the data backups too. We want to expand that out to Office 360 or OneDrive for Microsoft. So that should cover everybody because pretty much everybody's on either OneDrive or Google Workspace. And then based on feedback, we'll kind of figure out the best way to price the scheduled backups. We're just not, part of it is we don't even know exactly what it's going to cost us yet because like we've tested, but unless you're working with real data and large amounts of PDFs, it's kind of hard to really predict. So we'll get that figured out. All right, guys, thank you. And I'll see everybody next week.